Emotional abuse is incredibly common. It is damaging, it is harmful, it is hurtful, and it is not always easy to decipher or recognize. So today I am walking you through some red flags of emotional abuse that you need to be aware of so that you can protect yourself. If you don't know me, my name is Kristin. I'm a life and relationship coach and a clinical hypnotherapist. I help women to heal after toxic relationships, love themselves, and create healthy and happy love in their lives. And that is what this channel is all about. So please give me a like on this video, subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notified when I drop new content every single week. So I think it's important to know that the reason for abuse, any kind of abuse, is always control and power. The abuser wants to control you and wants to have power over you. Now, I want to kind of just caveat this here, that if you are being emotionally abused by someone, it is not that they are automatically some terrible and awful person, but they have most likely been emotionally abused by the person before them, and there's a lot of layers to this. I'm giving you this information, in fact, in all of my videos about abuse and about overcoming and healing, for you, for awareness, not to blame other people, not to think somebody else is so awful and terrible. In fact, one of the biggest things for healing is taking all of that energy and time away from worrying about everybody else and everything else and focusing on you. Now, that being said, just because they might not be terrible and awful people, it doesn't mean that you ever deserve to be abused, that you are the cause of it in any way. No, 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 no. You are never the cause for abuse. You never deserve abuse. And I also just want you to be aware of these things, because sometimes they can be happening and you just might not feel right, but you're not really sure what is going on. And when you're not really sure what is going on, and maybe you don't have a lot of self-trust, you just let things go. You let these red flags go because you don't really recognize them as red flags. Emotional abuse is different from other types of abuse, because if you're being physically abused, it's really easy to know that you've been hit or you haven't. So hopefully by the end of this video today, you're going to know a lot more about these and be able to empower yourself to make really good decisions in your relationships. So this is typically going to happen early on in a potentially emotionally abusive relationship. They are going to try to test your boundaries, meaning they're not going to respect your no, right? Like, let's say that they do something and you say, no, I don't want to do that. They suggest something, you're like, no, I don't want to do that. And they're like, what are you talking about? I know you want to do it. And they just kind of override your no, and they really don't respect that. It's like they're kind of just trying to see what they can get away with. So they might even do something like go through personal records of yours or pick up your cell phone and go through it. They're really just trying to push your boundaries. Now, if you're not somebody that has really solid boundaries, you might not even really realize that they are being crossed, that this is really a violation. So this is something that you really want to be aware of. And I just kind of want to caution you, like, when you feel like, that wasn't right, and you have that feeling in your gut of just contraction around something, that's your body telling you no. That's your body saying this isn't right. And that alone, just being able to tune into that feeling of a no, of a contraction, of something's not right here, is really, really important too. They completely disregard your feelings. You might come to them saying like, hey, I really need to express this to you. And it is just like in one ear, out the other. And somehow it just winds up being completely about them. And you kind of feel like you talk around in circles all the time and you never really get anywhere. And you might be really even trying to be patient, and you might be somebody who is presenting with all of this really beautiful information that you think is so well thought out, and they focus in on one tiny little thing that you said and deflect and just, again, try to make it all about them. 3, They call you names. Now, this might start out something small, like, oh, you're so stupid. You did something and it was so stupid. And then, the next thing you know, you're an idiot. And the next thing you know, you're a bitch. And the next thing you know, you're the C word. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. Okay, so this is one of those things that you really want to be aware of, because name calling gets worse. It doesn't get better. If somebody's instinct is to react to you in a way that needs to call you names, that is for sure a red flag, especially early on in a relationship. 4, they don't ever apologize, right? They might even start to apologize, but somehow it is turned around in a way that it's like really actually not their fault at all, but they're going to just say what you want them to say, maybe, possibly, but probably not really. Because they take no responsibility for themselves and their actions. Huge red flag. Now, I have a few more red flags that we're getting into, but if you are feeling already like, oh my gosh, yes, I didn't even recognize that, but I'm seeing it now, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your experience below. 5, they say little digs about you. So this might not be like overtly insulting or obvious, more kind of like passive aggressive, like, you're really going to do that? Oh, no, it's fine. Or, they may make comments about how you're acting, how you dress. They're really just making these little digs to make you feel like it's not really okay to be who you are, and really trying to manipulate you into acting how they want you to act, into being how they want you to be. Again, this is about control and power. 6, they will straight up insult you and then act like it's a joke and get like, ugh, it's a joke. You know, I didn't mean that, right? And act offended that you're upset over the insult. Now, this is really a form of gaslighting, and I go totally in depth about that in this video, so you can check that out, because if you are experiencing that, you're going to want to know what gaslighting is too. 7, they use guilt to get what they want from you. So again, you might say no to something, and then they're going to try to guilt trip you into doing something like, oh, I'm always there for you, this or that, all of these things. They might pull like all of these cards and all of the ways that they have somehow maybe possibly helped you out, but it might not even be true. But they do this to make you feel bad for not doing something that they want you to do. This is just manipulation. It's just, again, them trying to control, them trying to have power over you. They might even use something like the silent treatment doing this. They're just going to completely go silent on you and try to really do it because they know that it annoys you, and try to get you to move into action for them somehow by really just pressing on the points that you're probably a good, nice person, and they know that it bothers you. 8, and this is going to be the last one that I talk about today. Of course, there are many more red flags, but these are some major ones. This one would be if you feel like you have to walk on eggshells around this person. You can't say what you want to say. You can't do what you want to do. You kind of just have to be cautious because you're afraid of some of their reactions. That would be a sign that you are experiencing emotional abuse of some kind. See, relationships should not make us feel like we can't be ourselves. True love makes you more of yourself, not less. And somebody who loves you and really cares for you is going to let you be you, all of you. And while some of these you might feel like, I can easily kind of rationalize or justify that away, abuse typically gets worse over time. So you really want to look at yourself and say, what can I do if I'm experiencing this? Or if I don't want to ever experience this, what can you do? The answer is to get comfortable setting boundaries. Right? Know what you will and will not allow in your life. Really, you need to increase your self-worth, because high self-worth is like anti-abuse. When you have really high self-worth, you're not going to tolerate any of these behaviors because you know that they don't make you feel good. You know that people that do these things are not valuing you. So it becomes really easy to walk away when you have that high level of self-worth. And you can go check out this video for how to raise your self-worth. And I'm going to link up my Worthy Woman workshop below, because that is actually the program where I teach you and help you to increase your self-worth. So you can check that out too. As always, thank you so much for watching today. If you know another woman that needs to hear this message, I ask that you please share it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out these other videos for more.